One Day at a Time, 1975 to 1984, was a trailblazing sitcom that blended heartfelt moments with relatable humor, captivating audiences for nearly a decade. The struggles and triumphs of Romano and her family resonated deeply, making the cast household names. Now, as we step into 2024 to 49 years after the show's premiere, many fans can't help but wonder, what happened to the stars who brought these iconic characters to life? From career highs to personal journeys, this video takes you on a nostalgic trip to discover where the beloved cast is today. You won't want to miss these fascinating updates. Bonnie Franklin, born on January 6, 1944, was an accomplished actress best known for her role as Romano in One Day at a Time, 1975. At the age of 31, she portrayed a strong, independent single mother raising two daughters with love and discipline. Franklin's portrayal of Anne was praised for its emotional depth, with her character often juggling work and family responsibilities. However, Bonnie's personal life was marked by struggles. She had a brief marriage to actor Ronald S. Ziegler, which ended in divorce, and she later found it difficult to find lasting love. While One Day at a Time was her career high, Franklin's post-show career was less successful, and she struggled to land roles that matched her previous fame. Despite a promising start, her career dwindled as she faced the harsh realities of Hollywood. In her later years, Franklin was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, a battle that ultimately took her life on March 1, 2013, at the age of 69. Her passing marked the end of a career that touched many, and she is fondly remembered for her role as the steadfast Romano. Pat Harrington Jr., born on August 13, 1929, became widely recognized for his role as the lovable building superintendent, Dwayne F. Schneider, on One Day at a Time, 1975. At 46, Harrington brought warmth, humor, and quirkiness to the character, becoming a fan favorite for his endearing antics. Off-screen, his life was more complex. He was married 3 times and had children, but his relationships were often strained. His most significant career achievement was Schneider, but he had difficulty finding similar success in other roles, which created periods of frustration. Despite his charm, Harrington struggled with his health in later years, especially when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. The toll of the illness affected his quality of life and ultimately led to his death on January 6, 2016, at the age of 86. While his career spanned decades, his final years were marked by the loss of his memory and the challenges of his disease, leaving behind a legacy of lovable characters and laughter. Nanette Fabray, born on October 27, 1920, played the wise and nurturing Grandma Catherine Romano on One Day at a Time in 1979 when she was 59 years old. A legendary actress, Fabray had a celebrated career spanning Broadway, television, and film. She was especially known for her stage performances and her contributions to musical theater. Despite her professional success, Nanette faced personal struggles, notably battling hearing loss throughout much of her life. Her first marriage to actor Richard Kiley ended in divorce after 15 years, and her second marriage to producer Ranald McDougall also ended in separation. In addition to her acting career, Fabray was a passionate advocate for those with hearing impairments. In her later years, she enjoyed a peaceful retirement, though her health began to decline. Nanette Fabray passed away on February 22, 2018, at the age of 97 due to natural causes. Her legacy as a trailblazer for the hearing-impaired community and her distinguished acting career live on, cherished by those who knew her work. Howard Hesseman, born on February 27, 1940, portrayed Sam Royer, and Romano's second husband, in the 1982 season of One Day at a Time. At the time of filming, he was 42 years old. Howard Hesseman's career spanned decades, but his personal life was marred by struggles. He began his acting career in theater and rose to prominence with his portrayal of a grounded, gentle man in One Day at a Time, whose character was a source of stability for Anne after her troubled marriages. Despite his success on screen, Hesseman faced battles with alcoholism in his youth, which hindered his personal relationships and career early on. In his personal life, he was married twice but never found lasting happiness. His first marriage ended in divorce, and although his second marriage was longer, it too faced difficulties. Haman had no children of his own, though he was close to his stepchildren. His tragic struggles with substance abuse overshadowed his later years, and he lived in relative isolation. He passed away on January 29, 2022, at the age of 81, following complications from colon surgery. John Hillman, born on December 20, 1932, portrayed Mr. Connors, a strict yet well-meaning figure on One Day at a Time, 1976. At the age of 43, Hillman's portrayal of the authoritative figure added dramatic tension to the show, though his character's heart was always in the right place. Hillman's career was filled with ups and downs. He found lasting fame in the 1980s with Magnum P.I., but it was often said that he struggled with typecasting as the quintessential stiff character actor. While his professional career had notable moments, his personal life was less glamorous. He never married and had no children, instead dedicating his life to his craft. Hillman's later years were marked by health issues, including cardiovascular disease, which ultimately led to his death on November 9, 2017, at the age of 84. Although his career brought him fame, his personal life was lonely, and he remained a private individual until his passing. Beeson Carroll, born September 21, 1934, played a stern yet fair policeman on One Day at a Time in 1976 when he was 42. Known for his commanding presence, Carroll's portrayal of a no-nonsense authority figure was one of many roles he took on in his long career. In reality, Carroll's personal life was not as clear-cut as his on-screen persona. He faced his own internal battles with substance abuse, which threatened his career and personal relationships. Despite this, Carroll persevered and maintained a steady career in film and television, though he never quite achieved the fame he had hoped for. His marriages were troubled, with multiple divorces and strained relationships. Though he had children, his inability to connect emotionally with them created distance in his family life. Beeson Carroll passed away on March 15, 2018, at the age of 83, with the cause of his death undisclosed, leaving behind a legacy of both strength and sorrow in the roles he portrayed and the life he lived. Fran Ryan, born November 29, 1916, was 60 years old when she played Eve on One Day at a Time in 1977. Eve was a motherly, nurturing character who offered wisdom and guidance to Romano and others in the series. Ryan's own life, however, was filled with struggles and hardships. She worked as a versatile actress throughout her career, with roles in numerous films and TV shows, but she often faced the challenges of being a woman in a male-dominated industry, frequently overlooked for more prominent roles. Ryan's personal life was touched by tragedy. She faced the heartbreaking loss of her spouse at an early age, and despite having a fulfilling career, she often felt a deep sense of loneliness. She had no children of her own, and although she had several long-term relationships, they were marred by her inability to maintain lasting emotional connections. Fran Ryan passed away on January 15, 2000, at the age of 83 due to natural causes, leaving behind a body of work that included both comedy and heartfelt drama, but a personal life filled with solitude and loss. Morgan Stevens, born on October 16, 1951, was 28 years old when he appeared in One Day at a Time in 1979, playing Fred, a calm and dependable character who provided stability and support to those around him. His portrayal of Fred brought a sense of comfort and warmth to the series, much like Stevens himself. However, his personal life was not as serene. Stevens' career had its ups and downs, with notable roles in the 1970s and 1980s, but his rise to fame was often marred by typecasting and struggles with mental health. He had a marriage that ended in divorce, and although he was known to be a loving father, his relationships were often strained by the pressures of his career. Stevens also faced significant financial hardship and isolation in the later years of his life, which led him to retreat from the public eye. On January 26, 2022, Stevens passed away at the age of 70 due to arteriosclerotic cardiovascular disease, leaving behind a legacy of understated performances and a life marked by personal battles. Nedra Voles, born on June 18, 1908, played Emily, the warm and wise elderly woman, in One Day at a Time during the 1976 season. At the age of 68, she brought to life a character who was a comforting presence to those around her. However, in real life, Nedra's path was far from easy. Her early years were filled with personal challenges, including financial hardships that saw her taking on various odd jobs before breaking into acting. Throughout her career, she struggled with being typecast in roles that focused on her age, which limited the opportunities she had. Despite her success on the show, she lived a quiet, sometimes lonely life away from the public eye, with few details about her romantic relationships. She had no children, and her family life was somewhat distant. Tragically, she never achieved the kind of fame or recognition she had hoped for in her youth, although she found peace and fulfillment in her later years through acting. She passed away on January 20, 2003, at the age of 94, due to natural causes. Kip King, born on August 11, 1937, portrayed the quirky Mr. Roberts in One Day at a Time in 1980, at the age of 43. Known for his quick wit and light-hearted personality, Mr. Roberts brought humor to the show's more serious moments. Kip's early life was filled with comedy, but his later years were marked by personal challenges. Though a talented actor, Kip struggled to find consistent work after his time on the show. His family life was turbulent, he had a number of failed relationships, and his romantic endeavors never seemed to bring him the stability he longed for. He was married a few times but faced painful divorces and the strain of raising children under less than ideal circumstances. His personal life was marked by a deep sense of longing, and his mental health struggles often manifested in bouts of depression. Kip also battled with addiction throughout his later years, which led to health complications. He passed away on July 15, 2010, at the age of 72, after a prolonged illness. Helen CLE, born January 6, 1907, was 72 years old when she played the character of Glenda on One Day at a Time in 1979. Glenda was a kind-hearted and wise character who offered emotional support and comfort to those around her, much like CLE's real-life persona. Despite her nurturing public image, CLE's life was filled with personal difficulties. She spent many years battling financial instability and loneliness, which were in stark contrast to the roles she often portrayed. CLE was married for many years, but her marriage ended in divorce, and she never remarried. Her inability to find lasting happiness in her personal life left her with a sense of unfulfilled yearning, even as she maintained a successful career. CLE had no children, and although she was known for her kindness and warm heart, she often dealt with the private pain of not having the family life she longed for. Helen CLE passed away on December 28, 2003, at the age of 96 due to natural causes. Chuck McCann, born on September 2, 1934, portrayed Beer Belly in One Day at a Time during the 1981 season when he was 47 years old. Beer Belly was a lovable and exuberant character, known for his infectious laughter and good-natured personality. Though Chuck was widely appreciated for his comedic skills, his personal life was marred by struggles that often went unnoticed by the public. Early in his career, Chuck was burdened by financial instability, often facing difficulty finding consistent roles. He also dealt with personal challenges, including battles with substance abuse. His relationships were turbulent, with 2 marriages ending in divorce. Despite these hardships, Chuck found solace in his family, maintaining a bond with his children. He also had to cope with the heartache of losing loved ones too soon. As he grew older, Chuck struggled with health issues, which culminated in congestive heart failure. He passed away on April 8, 2018, at the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy of laughter, but also a bittersweet reminder of the challenges he faced in his personal life. Dick ONeal, born on August 29, 1928, played Orville in One Day at a Time, a character who was dependable, gruff, yet deeply caring. He was 48 when he appeared on the show in 1976. Dick's career was diverse, spanning television, film, and theater, but his personal life was filled with pain and difficulty. Raised in a working-class family, he faced many struggles early on, including financial instability and a strained relationship with his father, which left him with a lifelong feeling of inadequacy. Despite his success on television, his personal relationships were fraught with hardship. He had been married multiple times, with each marriage ending in divorce. His struggles with alcohol and the toll it took on his health were well documented, and his later years were marked by both physical and emotional pain. Dick ONeal's most devastating personal tragedy came when he lost his son in a car accident, a loss from which he never fully recovered. He passed away on November 17, 1998, at the age of 70, from heart failure. Glenn Scarpelli, born on July 6, 1966, portrayed Alex Handries, the lively and optimistic teenager who joined the Romano household in 1980, at the age of 14. He brought a refreshing energy to the show, with Alex's bright personality and infectious charm creating much-needed levity. Despite the on-screen persona of a happy and carefree teen, Glenn's life took a darker turn after his time on the show. While his career as an actor slowed down after One Day at a Time, Glenn faced difficulties in his personal life, including struggles with his sexuality and the pressures of living up to the youthful image he had projected. He battled against the expectations of being a perfect celebrity, and at times he felt trapped by the roles he was offered. Glenn went on to live a somewhat private life, focusing on personal endeavors and occasionally making public appearances to address his past. He had one marriage, though it was short-lived, and has since found fulfillment in his work outside of Hollywood. He is 58 years old today and continues to advocate for causes close to his heart, including his struggles with mental health. Michael Lbeck was born on June 25, 1948, and played Max Horvath, Julie Cooper's loving and patient husband, starting in 1979 at the age of 31. As Max, Michael portrayed a character who acted as a stabilizing and loving presence in Julie's chaotic life. Michael's career, which initially began with acting, saw a shift toward directing, a transition he made successfully in the years following his time on One Day at a Time. However, his personal life faced its own share of challenges. Michael was married twice, though both unions ended in divorce, which marked a period of personal disappointment for him. His career had its own ups and downs. He found success as a director in television, but his professional life also had moments of struggle. Tragedy struck when Michael's only child, a son, passed away under heartbreaking circumstances, which devastated him. Today, at 76 years old, he remains an active figure in Hollywood, still involved in the creative process, and cherishing the work he has done. Ron Rifkin, born October 31, 1938, portrayed Nick Handries in One Day at a Time in 1980, at the age of 42. His character was a sophisticated, charming man who entered the life of an Romano, bringing romance and elegance into the series. Nick was known for his intelligence, romantic nature, and his deep care for Anne. In real life, Rifkin's personal journey was intertwined with both personal triumphs and hardships. While he gained fame in the entertainment industry, his private life revealed a deep sense of loss and struggles with mental health. His marriage to actress Heidi Den was reportedly challenging and ultimately ended in divorce after many years. The couple has a child, though Rifkin has often kept his family life away from the media. Beyond his personal losses, his career has continued to thrive, with notable appearances in both television and film, including Alias and Brothers and Sisters. Now 86 years old, Rifkin remains active in the industry but has stepped back from the limelight in recent years. Mary Louise Wilson, born November 12, 1931, brought Ginny Roblicki to life in One Day at a Time in 1976 when she was 45 years old. Ginny was the quirky and humorous neighbor who became a loyal friend to Anne Romano. Known for her eccentric personality, Ginny offered comic relief while also providing emotional support to Anne's family. Mary Louise Wilson's own life mirrored some of the whimsical charm of her on-screen persona, but her journey was fraught with personal tragedy. She faced the pain of loss early in life, losing a close family member in a car accident. Professionally, she enjoyed a steady career but was often overlooked for leading roles. Wilson has been married twice, and while her first marriage was filled with joy, her second ended in a painful divorce, leaving her to raise her only child alone. Her life was also marked by financial struggles, having faced the challenges of being a working actor in a demanding industry. Now 93 years old, Wilson continues to be remembered for her decades-long career in both theater and television, though she has retired from acting in recent years. Boyd Gaines, born on May 11, 1953, played the role of Mark Royer, Barbara Cooper's caring and understanding husband, in One Day at a Time during the 1981 season when he was 28 years old. Gaines' portrayal of Mark brought a sense of stability and warmth to the Cooper family, balancing the challenges of Romano's life. Though he is well known for his successful career in television and theater, Boyd's personal life has had its ups and downs. He was married twice and has 2 children. Despite his professional acclaim, Boyd has occasionally faced the pressures of fame and family life. In his youth, he struggled with maintaining a sense of normalcy amid the public spotlight. As of now, Boyd is 71 years old and remains active in the theater, continuing to perform in various productions. Though he is less present in the public eye, Boyd's enduring legacy in theater and television showcases his commitment to his craft, and he lives a quieter life, still deeply connected to the arts. Valerie Bertinelli, born on April 23, 1960, became a star at just 15 years old for her role as Barbara Cooper on One Day at a Time, 1975. Her portrayal of the kind-hearted and responsible daughter won her widespread acclaim, and she quickly became a household name. Growing up in the spotlight had its challenges, as Bertinelli faced immense pressure regarding her appearance and personal life. Her high-profile marriage to rock musician Eddie Van Halen in 1981 was full of passion but eventually ended in divorce after 25 years. Despite their split, Bertinelli remained close to Eddie, especially after the birth of their son, Wolfgang, who would go on to become a famous musician. Bertinelli's life was marked by struggles with body image and the pressures of fame, but she later embraced a new career path in cooking shows and television, finding a sense of fulfillment. Now 64, she has used her platform to inspire others, focusing on her health and happiness, and has found a sense of peace with her past. McKenzie Phillips was born on November 10, 1959, and starred as Julie Cooper in One Day at a Time, starting in 1975 when she was just 15 years old. Julie was the free-spirited, rebellious daughter of Romano, often finding herself at odds with her mother's rules but also demonstrating a deep love and protection for her family. Mackenzie's early career was filled with the pressures of growing up in the spotlight, and she struggled with addiction from a young age. Her life off-screen was marred by personal turmoil, including multiple battles with drug and alcohol addiction. Mackenzie also faced profound family tragedies, including a tumultuous relationship with her father, John Phillips of the Mamas and the Papas, who was not always a stable figure in her life. Her personal life included a difficult marriage to musician Jeff Sessler, which ended in divorce. Mackenzie later married and divorced again, facing another painful chapter with her second husband, whom she later accused of sexual assault. At present, she is 65 years old, still active and speaking out about addiction and mental health, a subject she's written about in her memoirs. Richard Masur, born on November 20, 1948, took on the role of David Kane in One Day at a Time during its 1975 airing. He was 27 years old at the time, portraying a reliable and caring lawyer who becomes romantically involved with Romano. David Kane's character often provides both legal advice and emotional support to Anne, acting as a pillar of strength. However, Masur's own life was far from the idealized character he portrayed on screen. His early career saw its share of struggles, and despite consistent work in both film and television, he often faced the difficulties of being typecast in supporting roles. He has been married twice, but his personal life also reflects the challenges of balancing a career in the spotlight with personal happiness. Masur was married to actress Nancy Frangone, but their marriage ended in divorce, and they have one child together. Though not as public about the details, his second marriage remains stable. As of now, Richard Masur is 76 years old, and while he is still active in the industry, he also faces the realities of aging in Hollywood. Shelley Fabray, born on January 19, 1944, portrayed the ambitious and sometimes rivalrous Francine Webster in One Day at a Time in 1978 when she was 34 years old. A versatile actress and singer, Shelley was already well established by the time she joined the show, known for her role on The Donna Reed Show and her hit song Johnny Angel. Throughout her career, Shelley faced significant personal challenges, including a long battle with an autoimmune disease that took a toll on her health and career. She was married twice, with her first marriage to music producer Lou Adler ending in divorce. Later, she found happiness with actor Mike Farrell, with whom she had a successful marriage and blended family. Despite health setbacks, Shelley continued her career in acting and became an advocate for health awareness. At the age of 80, she remains a respected figure in both the entertainment industry and advocacy work, maintaining a positive outlook despite the challenges she faced over the years. Scott Coleman, born on September 19, 1952, is best remembered for his role as Cliff Randall, Barbara Cooper's charming and confident love interest, on One Day at a Time, 1977. At 25, Coleman's character brought a romantic subplot to the show, with his good looks and charisma. However, off-screen, Coleman's career and personal life were filled with struggles. While he had a few notable roles throughout the 1970s and 1980s, he was often overshadowed by more established stars. Coleman's personal life was marked by turmoil, including a series of failed relationships. He was married twice but never found lasting happiness in love or family life. Despite his early fame, Coleman faced years of obscurity and personal challenges, including a period of battling substance abuse. Now 72, he has largely stayed out of the public eye, living a quieter life and reflecting on a career that could have been more successful. While he remains grateful for his time on One Day at a Time, Coleman's life has been a testament to the hardships of fleeting fame. Joseph Campanello was born on November 21, 1924, and played Ed Cooper, and Romano's ex-husband, in One Day at a Time, starting in 1976. He was 52 years old during his appearance on the show. Campanello's career was robust, appearing in countless television series, but his life was filled with both highs and deep personal lows. His portrayal of Ed Cooper, the distant yet caring ex-husband, was a testament to his ability to play complex characters. However, off-screen, his personal life was more tumultuous. He had been married twice, and his first marriage was fraught with struggles that ultimately led to a bitter divorce. His second marriage fared no better, and he had 2 sons, though he was not especially close with them in his later years, which led to feelings of regret. His life was marked by financial instability after his peak in the industry, and he struggled with periods of depression. Despite all, Campanello worked well into his later years, never allowing his personal hardships to completely define him. He passed away from natural causes on May 16, 2018, at the age of 93. Jim Hutton, born on May 31, 1934, played Dr. Paul Curran, a compassionate and empathetic doctor, on One Day at a Time, 1977. At 43, Hutton's portrayal of a caring medical professional brought a sense of hope and healing to the series. Despite his promising start, Hutton's life and career were filled with tragedy. He had a series of roles in television and film but never achieved the level of fame that many had predicted for him. His personal life was filled with emotional turmoil, including struggles with his health and relationships. Hutton was married and had children, but his family life was not without its challenges, including separation from his spouse. Tragically, Jim Hutton's life was cut short when he died of liver cancer on June 2, 1979, at the age of 45. Despite his untimely death, Hutton is remembered for his warmth and the hope he brought to the role of Dr. Curran, which made his loss even more heartbreaking for fans of the show. Charles Siebert, born on March 9, 1938, appeared in One Day at a Time in 1977, playing Jerry Davenport, a charming and somewhat flirtatious character. At 39 years old during the show's filming, Siebert had already built a solid acting career. His portrayal of Jerry brought humor and lightness to the series, but his life outside of the spotlight was far more complex. Siebert's early years were marked by personal and professional struggles. He had a troubled marriage that ended in divorce, and though he married again later, his second union did not bring him the happiness he had hoped for. He faced a series of failures in his career post One Day at a Time, with his later roles being few and far between. Siebert's later years were marked by loneliness, and his health declined rapidly after the pandemic hit. His final days were spent in relative seclusion, and he passed away on May 1, 2022, at the age of 84 due to COVID-19 related pneumonia. David Spielberg, born on March 6, 1939, portrayed Mark Harrison in One Day at a Time in 1979, when he was 40 years old. Mark was a compassionate and empathetic character, always ready to offer a helping hand to those in need. Spielberg's career spanned decades, with notable roles in film and television, but his life outside of the spotlight was not without hardship. David experienced the profound sorrow of losing his first wife to illness, a devastating event that shaped much of his later years. His own struggles with mental health and substance abuse further complicated his personal life, contributing to a sense of isolation at times. He also faced financial difficulties during certain periods of his career. Despite these challenges, David remained dedicated to his craft, often finding solace in acting. In his later years, he battled cancer, a fight that ultimately led to his passing on June 1, 2016, at the age of 77. His death marked the loss of a deeply compassionate man, whose kindness was reflected in the characters he portrayed. Claudette Nevins, born on April 10, 1937, played the role of Marge Royer in One Day at a Time in 1982 when she was 45 years old. Marge was a sophisticated and confident woman who brought wisdom and grace to the series. Nevins' acting career was long and varied, with memorable roles in both television and theater. However, her personal life had its own struggles. She faced emotional turmoil during her marriage to fellow actor Richard Libertini, which ended in divorce. Claudette also experienced the pain of losing close friends and family members over the years. Her career was punctuated by both critical acclaim and moments of uncertainty, as she grappled with the unpredictability of show business. Despite these difficulties, Claudette remained a resilient figure, continuing to act until later in life. She passed away on February 20, 2020, at the age of 82 from natural causes. Her life, filled with both triumphs and tragedies, left an indelible mark on the entertainment world. Who is your favorite character from One Day at a Time? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.